So after all your research, what did you personally find interesting?
One of the things that I found really interesting is the fact that deaf people, if they're late to a meeting or just anywhere, it's polite for them to explain why they're late, like there's traffic or something like that. Whereas hearing culture, if you're late, you usually just, sneak into the back corner of the room and just pretend like you're late, and then afterwards, like, talk to the boss and then explain, sorry, this is what happened, where it's just completely different for deaf culture. Another thing that I found really interesting was the interviews that I had with random people on the street and people from my sign language class and deaf people. And I would like to show you guys those now, and then I'll explain why I thought those were very interesting. What do you think the biggest difference in deaf and hearing culture is?
They can't hear, just for one. I have no idea.
Missing out on music.
That I can hear and they can't.
I don't know what I can say. It's funny because it's not something I think about, But yeah.
I would not know.
Oh, I've never thought about that before, but I don't know.
Communication.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better than that.
You were supposed to tell us the answer.
I think the biggest difference is just how accepting deaf people are of other deaf people, and it doesn't really seem like there's social divisions, I guess. If you're deaf, you're just automatically really accepted, and they're really nice to everyone. Like, they stand really close when they talk, where that'd be weird in a hearing culture. They hug each other goodbye, and I guess just once you're their friend, all the walls go down and there's really no barriers.
The biggest difference that I've noticed is that deaf people are more open when it comes to comments and personal opinions, and they're not afraid to sign or tell you what they think kind of right away, and they're a little bit blunt about things. And that's kind of what I've noticed, and just they get right down to like talking about what's on their heart or what's going on right away, instead of like beating around the bush about things.
I think that the deaf culture is way more accepting of people in general than hearing people. It's just, they kind of know, I guess, what it's like to be different, so they just like accept everybody. And if you notice, like if you go to Deaf Coffee Night or something, there's all different ages and men, women, everybody's friends, and it's just easy.
Attitude is definitely a difference.
A big difference.
I'm trying to think of an example.
Deaf people are proud of their culture. They have a lot of pride and confidence. They think, hey, I'm awesome the way I am, compared to hearing people that are like, yeah, I'm fine, anyway.
Deaf people's community, it's strong. They're supportive.
Deaf and hearing culture, there are huge differences, huge differences. Language itself is the biggest difference and the most significant difference between cultures.
What is it?
There are definitely differences. The deaf community has their own culture. Hearing people have their own way also. When they come together and mix, that's how they learn about each other. Deaf people learn about hearing people and vice versa. We're really all the same.
Very different. Deaf people are like a family. They're more group-oriented. It's a group culture, more collective. Hearing culture is more, I don't know, people by themselves depending only on themselves.
Hearing culture. I don't know. It's more, families are more spread out, more isolated. They don't want to do things with people. Compared to deaf culture, they're very involved. Everyone's involved. They love to sign and socialize together. They have a sense of togetherness compared to hearing people who are definitely more isolated.
As you could tell, there was a lot of differences between the people and their answers. I found that the hearing people just really didn't even know that they had a culture, and that's what I found the most interesting. Was I didn't know that I had a culture until I started taking sign language, and then I learned more thoroughly about it this project. And that's it. So I hope you guys really enjoyed my video.